always so weird to boot up Ace Attorney or any Ace Attorney game and have the music be just like silent, having no music. And of course, it's a transition scene from like one dramatic scene to the next. That's when there's no music. But it's almost like so like I don't know. It feels weird, especially since these games, this franchise is so musical with so many great tracks, so many beautiful tracks, dramatic tracks, sad tracks. That for a split second when I boot up the game, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in this scene, you know, because I'm so used to like just like the music hitting you right away, and it's going to hit us once again in the second for the Mood Matrix. But I just thought it was so interesting, you know. We stop at a scene that there's no music, so we can talk about the previous episode. Then we boot up the next episode when there's like no music. For a split second, it's like, wait, what's? Oh yeah, of course. It just feels weird. By the way, hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice, and we're about to go back into the Mood Matrix with Bonnie. Let's see what's happening. Hey, Apollo. Now there's a new inconsistency in the testimony. Wait, so like the new thing she added to testimony has another inconsistency. She's finally slipped up. So what do I need to do now? So we know there's an inconsistency that she added to the case. Will it say it here? What did she add to it? I guess we'll see it as we go into it. But from this point onward, you just have to do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and present the evidence to refute it. Fair enough? All right. I've got you now, Bonnie the Fam. So maybe we're not actually going to be going with the Mood Matrix. Maybe we're just going to be like looking at the... Oh, no, we are. Okay. I guess Trucy's the one who killed Miss Therese. Which one was added to it? This was here before. Even she could move the body without a lift. The evil smile is killing me. You see what I mean? Like, the music in this game is so great. You know what I mean? That's why for a split second when I boot up the game and there's no music, I'm like, huh? Oh, yeah. Like, it's so interesting. I was on stage at the time with that terrible mistake. So this is the... Oh, thank you. You know what? Serves her right. So this is one of the new expressions as well. But we can't really present evidence against serves her right. Thanks that she ended up having to move the stage lifts. So this is the thing we have to present against? Because what happened was... Yeah, we have to present something against this. Is it because this was under stage, right? Yeah. Yeah, but how does that work then? Did she have someone else? Did someone else see this happen? Because she wouldn't have had time to tell Bonnie about this happening. Because right after this happened, the whole thing fell apart. So is the other person with the fingerprints, were they like down here at the time and they saw this happening? Whoever this is, whoever this third person is with the other fingerprints. Because what I'm saying is that, like, if Bonnie was on stage, which you know she was, again, I'm her alibi as well. I'm the alibi to say Bonnie was up on stage as well. Then how would she have known that Trucy had to pull off this, like, you know, thing with the lift? Unless she, like, malfunctioned the lift herself. But I can't imagine that, like, she would be able to do that, I guess. Like, did she jam it? But, like, I think they're trying to showcase here that this is just inconsistent. This is the inconsistency. This is a lie. So I'm guessing it's because she was on stage at the time, which means that this is probably going to reveal that there's like the other person with the fingerprints was down here. Maybe someone else that had a grudge against the Gramarys as well. So what can we present for this? The diagram. It's something to showcase, I guess, that like, this is a lie. This is a lie. Maybe we could say the fingerprinted results because there was like a third, the top panel unknown, but I don't know if this is going to be like perfect for that at all though, because what that's for the box. Fire bucket. Contract signed by Trucy. Trucy's statement. Trucy moved the stage. Okay, there's something about the stage lifts here to cover Bonnie's mistake. She told no one. Oh, there we go. It's right there. Yep, it's right there. She told nobody about this. There's no way Bonnie could have known. The third person was down there. There's no way. That doesn't make sense. What, so you think I'm crazy now? No, that's not the point I was trying to make. But I don't hear you denying it. Oh my god, she's more offended we're calling her crazy than we're about to, like, you know, point out a lie here. Mr. Pham, allow me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that she ended up having to move the stage lifts. Yeah, she wouldn't have seen it. And Trucy would have no time to tell Ratings or her. Well, that skipped by very fast. But how did you know? How did you know that Miss Wright moved the stage lift? So she said here, that's right. And I still say that's what she deserves. I love that. Oh, okay, I love that. Apollo, before she could even like get into talking about Trucy in a bad way, he's like, no, we're not having it. Huh? According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone she had done so, and how would she? Like it would have been very, very impossible. Now, you could say she told her after everything went down. You could say that 100%. But I think Trucy was picked up very quickly on the charge, right? I think she was. What? So how could you possibly have known what she had done unless you saw her? Exactly. So, like, that's why I'm thinking it's the third person with the third fingerprints was, like, there all along. Because, again, we know Bonnie was on stage the whole time. But if she says that she saw this, that means she wasn't on stage the whole time, but that wouldn't make any sense because everyone saw her on stage. You saw Miss Wright moving the lifts in the understage passage, didn't you? Oh, here we go. Info update again. But how does that work, though? Even the cameras caught her on stage. You know what I mean? How did you pull that off? I'm still thinking it's the third person. You did, Apollo. Noise levels are at 0%. And Athena's very happy about that. Very proud as well, she is. But Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean? Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pham herself was on the stage when the victim was killed. I don't think she was on the stage. I think it was whoever that person with the fingerprints is. That's my thought process. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means. You were one artful liar, Mr. Pham, and one spectacular suspect. Oh my god, the umbrella being blown away is a very nice touch. But is the prosecutor going to come back and say, but we have video evidence of her on stage, and that would make sense, right? Because we do. Why, you shiny red lobster boy. So Pepper Boy and Lobster Boy is what we're getting called today. You're saying I killed Mysterious? I'm saying that it's a possibility. What's more? Slam that table. I see it with a solid motive to frame my client for murder as well, because she wanted her spot, right? Objection. Oh, here we go. My apologies for rating on the defense's mere merry revelry. But you seem to have forgotten one very important point. Oh, really? The TV exactly. I was going to say this right away. And this is why I think why this Samati is so dangerous. Because again, I think there's, as you said, we've seen other great prosecutors, Edward, Blackwell, all these people who have like a very good way of doing things. But there's also many times where we question people like almost every turn of like, oh, I don't think that should be allowed, or the judge is on their side or something like that as well. In this case, as I said last time, somebody like has like good counterpoints, like consistently all the time. As you can clearly see. Yep, I agree. And once again, like it's like that's a good counterpoint. Mr. Pham was on stage the whole time. It has to be that third person. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you. Exactly. And me, myself. Calvin. Also. Alibi. Oh, yeah. You've just taken a long and senseless journey only to return to the starting line. But no, there's no. This is still a good advancement. We have to argue that whoever the third person was there. That's why we have to argue. It's a good step forward. It's just that we went too far over the line. Right? We went too far over the idea of like, oh, like saying that she was the one who actually did it. The witness could not have been in the understage passage. Which means the only one left who could have killed the victim is the accused. No, there was the third fingerprints. Come on, Apollo. Come on. Guess the party's over. But no, we can do this, Apollo. Apollo, you can do this. Mr. Pham knew something she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. Exactly. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Samadi? It's quite simple. The accused must have told Mr. Pham about it, but then forgot. I don't think that Trucy's going to forget that type of stuff. I don't think she is. I think you're, again, that's also conjecture. That is conjecture. The idea of like, oh yeah, maybe she forgot. Like, you can't just say like, oh, maybe she forgot. I know you can as a lawyer be like, oh, well, there's a possibility that you could just forget, right? And the jury has to kind of decide in some cases whether that's okay or not. But like, she made an official statement that she didn't tell anyone about it. An official statement. Open those useless eyes of yours and take a good look at the footage. I agree, you were there. That's why I think it's a third person. If Mr. Pham was really in the understage passage, it would mean she was on stage and understage at the same time. You mean she was in two places at once? That does seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense. Not a third person? She's in two places at once is what we're going with? It may be an explanation, but I'm not sure about the makes sense part. I agree. I actually agree. That was just to make it make sense. Okay, we're going with two places at once. I'll go with you, Apollo. Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and on stage at the same time. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. That is the defense's assertion. I've heard some logical things come out of you before, but this is absurd. We should be able to, like, prove it, right? We should be able to prove it somehow then. If Apollo believes in this, I believe in this. I'm sure you change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor. I'm ready for this too. Look at our man. Look at him. My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain how the witness was in two places at once? She teleported. There were two Bonnies. The Bonnie on stage was a fake. I'm already doing like process of elimination here. Wait. She teleported? No, right? No, because she was on stage the whole time. That's gone. That's gone out of the equation. There were two Bonnies and there was a Bonnie on stage was fake. I feel like... I don't know, I feel like the Bonnie on stage being fake would have been caught by someone. Are they saying there's two Bonnies? And what I'm saying about the Bonnie on stage being fake being caught by someone is like, wouldn't somebody notice that this Bonnie wasn't the real Bonnie? I guess not, maybe. It's okay, so I think it's one of these two then. It's one of these two, but I think it's less likely to be this one. But the idea of then there being two Bonnies, are they saying that it's like someone else is also Bonnie? Right? There are two Bonnies, the Bonnie on stage which is fake. Are they trying to say it's like, because to me, that if they're trying to say that there's like someone else dressed as Bonnie, that would mean kind of the same thing as this then, right? So there have to be like literally two Bonnies? Right. Okay, so we can try both of them. We still have life. Let's go. There were two Bonnies that do Bonnie on stage, which is fake. Let's try it out. Let's try it out. There were two Bonnies, so this is the truth. If that were the case, it would all make sense, wouldn't it? There were two of them? I suspect you had a few screws loose, but now I see some are missing altogether. Is there a toolkit in this courtroom, Your Honor? Oh my god, this very sly insult. I suppose two, no, three screws in the head should right in this putrid brain again, the putrid stuff again. I'm really interested to see where this is going. Very well, bailiff, could you... You actually think you're going to try and do this? Tighten the screws in our brain? Please, listen to my argument. Very well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen. I'm here for this too. As was argued earlier, Mr. Pham is shown in the footage the whole time. Yeah, this is Bonnie, right? This is Bonnie. But at the same time, she was also watching Mr. Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are two Bonnies. Are we saying it's like, could it be like siblings, twins? That almost sounds like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Sabari? But how are we going to prove this, though? How are we? Is it with the fingerprints? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that we should lose no time in replacing the defense's many lost screws. Okay, now I'm like 100% just like totally on the side of this argument because I want to prove this guy wrong. 100%. But Apollo, it goes against reality itself to say one person is actually two. But we don't have to be bound by reality after all. We're talking about magic here. Wait, so we're actually saying it's magic? So if Bonnie DeFam in the footage is the real Bonnie, then the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been on stage, this Bonnie DeFam is our second Bonnie. So this is the second Bonnie. The Bonnie on stage was actually the real Bonnie? What the hell? So it might be just like a disguise thing? She is? Say we call the one in front of us Bonnie 2. Okay, Bonnie 2. I believe I have just a piece of evidence to prove that Miss Bonnie 2 exists. Oh, then please... are we going to test our fingerprints? Please submit your evidence, Mr. Justice. What proves the existence of Bonnie 2? Is it the fingerprint stuff?
Take that!
What's this? It is. Oh my god, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting for this moment. During investigation, we found a set of unknown fingerprints on the coffin on stage, so we're gonna have to test her fingerprints. Get Emma to test her fingerprints. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show, but they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case. An unknown third party's fingerprints? I was not told of this, so he didn't even know about this as well. Emma must have kept it from him. Yes, Emma. Oh my god, Emma was so happy about her promotion as well. So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? I love when he does this pose. Oh, she's sweating now as well. Well, she was sweating before, but now, like, yeah, she's gonna hit herself in the head again. No, she didn't this time. Okay. Mr. Pham, or should I say Bonnie 2? These are your fingerprints, aren't they? So there are 2 Bonnies. Which would mean that, like, the other Bonnie hasn't even... Oh, no. I was going to throw him again. Enough of this foolishness. One person could not possibly be 2. This is the first time we've seen him be this frustrated. We've never seen him like this. Usually he's, like, so composed. And it feels like, you know, because we like, expressed knowledge that he didn't know about, brought evidence that he didn't know about, I feel like it's the first time he's felt like maybe a lack of control in this courtroom. Right? Those fingerprints could have been left... not only during the show, but at any time.
Objection!
Oh, we're objecting. Let's go. It's not like you two use your cool like that. Exactly. Process Savity. This music's great as well. And I'm sure you know that exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue. It's the fact that there is fingerprints. What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice? The issue is, who do these unknown prints belong to? Test Bonnie 2. Test Bonnie 2. That means the Bonnie was on stage hasn't been on the sand yet. Right? That means we've had only the Bonnie 2 this whole time. They're certainly not Bonnie the Phams. What if they belong to the person standing right in front of us? You mean Bonnie 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? Yes, test. Get the fingerprints testing done. Get it done. I never seen him this frustrated. It's preposterous to suggest that these prints belong to the witness. I say they must belong to some other unknown individual. Prosecutor Samadi, can you really, Samadi, can you really look at her and still say that? What are you looking at? Take a picture of the last hour, come on, she's not like the other Bonnie whatsoever, right? How could this be? See, he's even starting to question as well. He knows again, because Nayuta's not like someone who's like he's gonna shy away from the facts. Maybe he'll question them, but I don't think he's a character that's gonna ever like, you know, not want evidence to be brought forth in the court, even if it is frustrating. I think it's an interesting character trait to have a character who like is so in control, but then as soon as like a bit of evidence he doesn't like know comes into the court, he gets a bit flustered. But he's also the type of character that's not gonna like totally, I don't think, shy away from allowing this testing to be done. If we check her prints, I'm sure they'll match the unknown set. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they, Bonnie 2? And then we have this frame in the background too. Witness, is that what the defense said true? Oh my god. Fine, I admit it. The fingerprints are mine. There we go. There's 2 Bonnies. Then does that mean you aren't Bonnie de Pham? What? Ridiculous. Again, look at him. It's so interesting to see him like be this flustered. Almost holding onto the beads for like support, right? Are there really 2 Bonnies? The twisting of the cane. Okay. Well, the umbrella. No, there's only 1 Bonnie. That's because... What? I'm Betty? Wait, Betty and Bonnie? Betty de Pham. Oh, so they are like family. Yes. What? They must be both. They're both the Phams. The Fame, I guess. The Fame. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for the Wondrous Magic Show, where we're going to see Bonnie as well. Gasp in amazement at this lagomorphing illusionist performs her teleportation magic? Watch closely, it's showtime. What is she doing? What is she doing? What is she doing? Wait. What? So is this Bonnie? Or is that still Betty? No, it's Betty. They're literally teleporting. This is really well presented in a very funny way. Oh my god, it's the both of them. Yeah, Betty and Bonnie. This is such a really interesting turn of events, honestly. And everyone's clapping. She just admitted to lying. Everyone admitted to lying. What an amazing trick. When is the suddenly split into two people? It is an amazing trick. It is. And I love in terms of the gameplay how it's presented now, like the actual, the presentation of it. I love like how it's like this, like they're introduced to each other like with this kind of like, almost like Team Rocket entrance, you know? It's like really cool. But yeah, like don't get mesmerized by this. Yeah. It's not a trick, no gimmick to it either. We're simply twins. What? Oh, so it is twins. Twins, yeah. So that's how the teleportation trick works. Ever since our debut, I've had to hide or pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet and goody-goody. I can't tell you how stressful it's been, but I don't have to hide anymore. That's right. Oh my god, they're both tapping the top of their hats. Our days of sneaking around are finally over. Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it. I wonder, like, honestly though, like, I think that does happen sometimes with stuff like this, where it's like, even though they did something wrong, I'm not saying that, like, oh yeah, so happy for them and all this stuff too. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying there is a thing with, like, even if you, like, commit a crime and, like, you've been hiding it for years, there is, I think, like, a sense of relief that, like, you know, your secret, at least, like, is now unburdened from you in a way, you know what I mean? You still probably would have the guilt, but I don't think they feel very guilty, but, like, there is, like, a, you know, it's like a pressure that they felt for years, you know? And, you know, I honestly, like, what did she do to Trucy? You know, feel that pressure forever. I don't care. So which one of you is the nice Bonnie, Defame we met in the dressing room? And the fact that her name is Defame, by the way, is so crazy. Like, they like, I know, like, I thought it was gonna be, like, maybe, like, a red herring or something. Now it, like, is, like, when you look back, it's, like, their names are Defame. You know? That would be me. So this is Bonnie we were talking to. Wait, so this... What did Bonnie? I'm wondering if they're actually going to try and say like Bonnie's like a nice one who didn't do something or something, and Betty's the one who actually did do something. And the sharp tongue Bonnie we saw with the ratings Raja on the stage was, who you calling sharp tongue? So wait, Bonnie gave us the key to the understage, and Betty did. That makes so much sense. Because you remember like when we went down to the understage, they showed up understage, and now when I look back at it, it is kind of crazy for if someone is guilty. To give us a... I'm not saying Bonnie is not guilty, but I'm saying that, like, to give us a key to the understage and then immediately go understage to talk about your secret plan and what you just did. Like, the only explanation would be that someone else gave us the key and then Betty didn't know about us getting the key and went down to the understage. That makes perfect sense now. It wasn't just, like, Bonnie being silly, you know? It's all starting to make sense now. I mean, it opens up a whole new avenue for the whole entire show because now the alibi that we once saw for Betty is gone. Like this whole thing that like held, I think a lot of the her defense together with glue and like super glue has now like, you know, been kind of like dissolved a little bit. Fingerprinting results updated in the court record. Yeah, I love the presentation of that. I love the reveal. I love the kind of like build up to it as well, where like again, it's one of those things where like it's really solid where you're like, yeah, it couldn't have been her, right? Couldn't have been. Like, how could it be? Like even you believe it as well. You're like, it couldn't be. To then have this reveal then of the Betty and Bonnie thing, which like I think I was kind of thinking like maybe it was someone in disguise, maybe it was someone like that, but like, and then I kind of thought like twins for a second too. But yeah, it makes sense. They're both twins. One of them's the nice one, I guess, and one of them's the sweet one, or at least the mild-mannered one. And the other one's kind of like the tough one as well. This is going to be an interesting rest of a trial then. Now that we have this happening as well, very interesting. So in addition to the prince, it's just adding Betty's prince to the courtroom. Okay. So, Mr. Justice, this changes the facts of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it? Yes, what it proves is that the alibi for Betty is no longer an alibi. She has admitted that she was down below in the room where Trucy was, in the understage area. It also proves that she lied and was underhanded with the court, and that she's capable of... I guess capable of lying, but then again, that doesn't like always like in Ace Attorney games, like, you know, you could have someone lie 10 times and the judge might be like, oh yeah, go again, try one more time. You know, that's just the way things are because it's supposed to be like an uphill battle sometimes. Sometimes more, it's more of an uphill battle other times than it is other times as well. But yeah, this proves that the alibi is not airtight. It proves that she lied, and it proved that there was someone else at the scene. and they had way more chances of getting around the area as well. Yeah, like I think it's one of the most airtight defenses they had throughout this whole thing from the start. That's now dissolved. It certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. Yep. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the crime. Betty could have, though. But Betty, on the other hand, who was on her stage, did have the opportunity. So I wonder, did she switch the swords out as well? Look, he's so stressed out. He's like, again, it's like he's holding onto those beads like they are like a stress ball. Still a great design. Look at how the two bodies just standing there as well. Well, sorry, not two. Sorry, Betty and Bonnie. Well, so now we have two suspects. Oh?
Wait just a minute, Lobster Boy. I didn't do it. That's right. Betty might have a foul mouth, but she'd never kill anybody.
We factually know that she was talking about a plan to ruin Trucy. So as much as like Bonnie, I don't know what their deal is going to be with Bonnie. Is she going to be a character who like actually, you know, is a good person? I don't know. But as much as I would like to believe that maybe, we know for a fact that she did have an out for Trucy, and she did set up a plan to get Trucy. We know this for a fact.
Hey, who's got a foul mouth here?
No, don't be doing that to your sister.
Oh, well, speak up, huh?
So there's definitely like a situation here where Betty definitely is commanding over Bonnie.
Hold it!
100%. Please save your siblings squabbling for later. Betty, you must be in the understage passage. You must have been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about the stage list being moved. So what exactly were you doing down there? Okay, we're going to learn testimony. I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back. Again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, maybe Bonnie's like actually cool, right? But I think it's interesting to maybe like see how much she knew. Because right now she's saying she didn't do it, so it could be a possibility that she didn't know that she was doing this. But again, I'm not going to, like anything, we go into anything suspecting that anyone could be capable of all this stuff. 100%. Prosecutor somebody, Betty DeFame is ready to testify. What do you say? I love that I've changed it to DeFame now because it's like, yeah, like it's a, like defam is like a fancier name, but like at this point, you know, the pun is real. The pun is real. Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother. Yep. She 100% did.
What else could I do? I couldn't blow our cover and ruin our magic act. See, that's the thing, and it is like this thing in the magic world, at least, and in real life too, they don't like blowing their cover, but like, Trucy is also like was so reluctant to reveal the trick as well. But in this case, it's more that you, it's not that you want to, like, I understand that there was a pressure on them to like keep that up for years, it definitely was, but it's also a case where you wanted to cover your butt because you definitely admitted to ruining Trucy's trick. You know, you already admitted to that. Besides, am I gonna go to your Twilight Hell or whatever for being a liar?
You will indeed. He just said, yeah. Yeah, sure. However, it won't be after your death, rather. I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil. Interrogation hell. Okay. Blew both of their umbrellas away. Now then, Betty DeFay, please explain to this court what exactly you were doing onto the stage. Here's the witness testimony again. Yeah, this is interesting because we have both of them on the stand. So we're like, are we questioning both of them, or is it just going to be like one at a time? Honestly, like if I'm being honest, like after we talk to Betty, I would definitely like to talk to Bonnie. Like even like if we could talk to Bonnie by herself, because then I don't know how involved she is. Again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, she's innocent, right? You know, but we have to see how involved she is too. Obviously,
it's true. I had business in the understage passage because of the upcoming trick.
Okay. It was the fire trick, right? The one Mysterious was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. But the fire trick, we learned that... Yeah, look. Yep, it was empty. You did not prepare for it 100%. You did a lack of preparation. We even pointed this out. It was actually one of the big deals of like what we were talking about, showcasing that someone didn't prepare or wasn't seeing this trick as safe, or like someone was not being safe.
It wasn't a script and I really wanted to see it. But I couldn't because of the accident. Shut up, you're gonna give it away.
She's very forceful with her.
Anyway, I was really busy. Yeah, way too busy to have a chance to kill Mysterious.
So we have something we can present already. The fire bucket. That's good. We have something. Well, that was certainly different.
How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi?
Oh my god. Like, as a double act, they would have been incredible, right? They would have been like, oh my god. You see the hands? No, her poor sister. Our magic is real. It's not a trick or a gimmick. Look, she's shaking. Oh my, she's floating, Judge. Of course the judge doesn't see the hands, even though he has the angle where you can see like her right under the desk as well. Your Honor, the podium, I should say. You can see she's being held up from below. Don't ruin the magic for him, I suppose. You're supposed to pretend you didn't see that. It's a little something called etiquette. I love when, like, the court cases do get absurd. The fact that, like, you know, technically, like, someone here is responsible for murder, right? 100%. But it's so funny to me that, like, still the people are like, hey, come on, Apollo, be a bit tactful, you know? But I can't help it. Whenever I see a contradiction or an inconsistency, I just have to point it out. Now then, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Yeah, the fire bucket is like the biggest glaring issue here. The biggest glaring issue to me is the fire bucket. They did not prepare for that trick. Because it even says here in the script. Transforms into a dragon. What is it? No, here's it. The teleportation trait. Mystery's fire trick needs to be damaged. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. Yeah, they did not make sure the fire bucket was ready. It's true I had business in the understage passages because of the upcoming trick. It was the. Yeah. Again, I love like the you can see the contrast between the two of them like so clearly now as well. Yeah. They definitely did not make this out to be, or they definitely didn't make this safe.
Objection!
There we go. I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in the floating trick you did earlier. Okay.
Harsh words. Well, let me tell you something. Forehead boy. So it's forehead boy though. His forehead's lovely. Okay. Let's just get that out of the way. Everyone in the comments also say how good his forehead is. So he's forehead boy, pepper boy, lobster boy. Betty is really harsh with you. It's almost like so funny because it's like PG insults, or not even PG. It's like all ages insults, you know, from like a kids show. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick.
No one except me, you mean?
Well, we've even better tricks up our sleeves. Huh? We do?
I told you to keep it zipped. Stop hitting her, okay? Let's stop hitting her. Now, don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what's this about a flaw in the testimony? Look, see there. Look at his forehead. Look at this. The forehead of an angel. The script has to say this about the fire. The script has this thing to say about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, he found the fire bucket lying empty backstage except for a layer of dust. Exactly, so it wasn't even used for a while. It wasn't like someone filled it with water and then it was kicked over or something. Oh my god. You didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty?
You got me.
Just admitting it, you got me? Betty the Fable, will you explain yourself?
There's nothing to explain. Come on, we can hide it. Wait, you know what's so interesting about the bucket as well? Like, I think when it comes to like this thing too as well, like it not only proves that like obviously they didn't prepare for this too, but like I think it also showcases as well that Trucy it wasn't Trucy who was being negligent here. It was clearly someone else behind the scenes not being negligent. In this case, Betty. Come on, Betty, we can't hide any longer. You might as well tell them. Shut up! You can't barely take care of yourself.
Well, maybe she could take care of herself better if you stopped shoulder jostling her every 2 minutes.
Don't try to tell me what to do.
Let's leave her alone, please. Leave her alone, okay? Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to.
The reason Betty didn't prepare for the fire trick is because she is afraid of fire, was slacking off, knew the show wouldn't go on. I think we even said this. Because we looked at the script, and we said that maybe whoever didn't prepare the bucket, I think we said this back then, like thought that there wouldn't even be a need to do this because Reese would be gone. So they knew the show wouldn't go on. That's what we said before. Why prepare the bucket when you know it's not going to happen? You didn't prepare the fire trip because you knew, didn't you? You knew that body would be found and the show would be cancelled. That's such a crazy like lack of preparation though as well, isn't it? That showcases like this confidence that they wouldn't be caught and that no one would think about the fire bucket, you know? And it probably shows like this kind of insider feeling where it's like, well, no one's going to think about the fire bucket. That's our thing, right? But in reality, it's like this lack of preparation like has cost you big time. All you have to do is fill the water up a bucket. Fill the bucket up with water, and you would have had like a more of an airtight situation here for sure. Like it's a lack of preparation because they thought no one would even look at this. Don't be ridiculous, you insignificant speck of a man. I'm gonna yank those lame bangs of yours off your. Look, you need to stop at something, Apollo. His bangs are lovely. They're lovely. Is that what you want, huh? Clearly he doesn't.
Objection!
Please don't rip off his bangs. Whatever, they can grow. Positive attitude from Apollo here. First of all, his hairstyle is iconic. His forehead's iconic. His red suit is iconic, right? But I love his positive attitude of like, yeah, rip out my hair. It'll grow back. Who cares? Now stop stalling. Just tell us the truth already. I think he's also figured out something here as well, that he needs to power through the insults sometimes. And that happens later in the court trials as well, where you kind of like, you know, it's one of those things where you have to like, power through it. If you don't, it's going to get the better of you, right? Because that's what they try to do. That's what the witnesses try to do. That's what prosecutors try to do sometimes, is like overwhelm you with like insults or snide remarks. And sometimes it does get to us early on, but I love when Apollo like really locks in, and Phoenix does that too. Athena's done that in the past. Like all of our lawyers have done that in the past, and it's so freaking cool to see. I can't reveal my secrets. I'm a magician. Objection? Oh, here we go. You've been chasing the shadow of an illusionary culprit defense. Oh? And having chanced upon a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away. So is he going to give us like a counter piece of evidence? Because he's actually, again, as I say, he's not bad at this. He's not bad at giving us counter evidence. Exactly. Where's your proof, huh? And yet, I can see that the witness's taste for false words has also been proven. Oh my god, yes. I advise you confine your deceitful trickery to your magic act witness. He said tell the truth. He said only do your lies within the magic. See, this is what I was thinking. Like when it comes to this guy, again, I don't think he's like a perfect person, by the way. I don't like how he was talking about Trucy, I never will. I don't like how he was talking down to Athena, never will. Don't like he was talking down to Apollo, never will. We'll always hold that against him. But one thing I think is so cool about like the prosecutors sometimes in this game, like and Edgeworth doesn't remember when we like worked together with Edgeworth at one point. It was such an amazing moment. I think even Blackwell has like that type of honor sometimes too. I would say that like Clavier has that too as well. You know, I think Von Karma took a little bit longer to get to that stage, right? You know, as well. And I think Godot took a little bit longer to get to that stage, like way longer. But I love that like he's kind of like, no, I know you lied, and I actually want to know the truth as well. Like it's like he's not a nice character. He's not this character who's going to be really nice to us and really gentle with us. He's not a character who's who we're going to always agree with and like actually like, you know, feel like we can be friends with him all the time. But he is clearly a character who looks at the evidence that he's found and believes in that evidence, and if he's shown something different, he definitely wants to find out the opposite way so he can use that to actually like progress the trial for himself as well. Deceitful trickery, like he just basically said like you are clearly lying, and I love that a prosecutor said like, hey, you lied before. Of course you did. It's always a great moment when the prosecutors step up like that. On Athena as well. As your court-appointed therapist, I'd like to add something here, Betty. You finally let yourself be who you really are. But if you continue to hide behind lies, you'll just be imprisoning your heart all over again. What a lie. Again, she's trying to play on the idea of like, you've had this pressure on you this whole time to be somebody else. You finally have the chance to be yourself. But to do that, you need to tell the truth as well. But all these questions mean you're trying to put me in a prison for real. I mean, that is true. So I'll be behind bars either way. Does that mean you're admitting your guilt? I don't know if she'll do that.
Of course not. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna do that too. I really want to know about Bonnie because again, I'm not saying that she's innocent. I'm not saying that she didn't do anything because clearly like she supports her sister quite a bit. But I want to know like what she was doing. If it was all just a big plan, if it was all like an organized plan between the three of them. You know what I mean? I want to know that.
I can't believe you people. Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do.
You what? Lobster Boy again? Cue Ball Geezer, Headcase Brat, Cerberus Monk. Cue Ball Geezer is a crazy insult. Headcase Brat is an insane insult. Cerberus Monk is, I feel like, 20 different ways of an insane insult. Insane insult game. Horrible insults. Cue Ball Geezer? Like, they're not, like, good insults, you know what I mean? But they're, like, I think it's just because of the way she, like, brings them forth. They probably feel a lot more hurtful, you know what I mean? Like, if someone called me Lobster Boy because I have a red shirt, I'm not going to be upset. But if someone said, hey, like, it's the way she does it is kind of like with her face and, like, a regression. Lobster Boy! It becomes a little bit more painful. The same thing with, like, if someone called a bald guy, like, hey, Cue Ball Geezer, Like, if I'm bald, I'm probably laughing. But if someone goes like, hey, Cue Ball Geezer, you're like, Jesus, dude. Like, what the hell? Headcase Brat is a really horrible insult. Because it's like, I'm saying, like, she's like, she's something wrong with her mental health because she does psychiatric stuff and stuff like that, too. That's not a nice insult at all. I mean, neither is any of the insults, but,
Betty, calm down. Come on out, deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths.
So she's the one that always calms Betty down, it seems.
Look, I'm not the murderer, I tell you.
Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick?
I told you. We can't reveal our secrets.
I think you're going to need to at some point. Her eyes are shaking here, so there is like an emotional connection to their tricks. Like 100%. I truly believe that they do care about their magic. So much so that they became so ambitious in a very horrible way that, she wanted to stop Trucy, right? To become the top magician,
We're
under contract with Reddens? Maybe they can't reveal it because of him. Possibly. Contract? What is she talking about? Be that as may, you're obviously a suspect in this case. Yep, 100%. Yeah, like, so it seems like there is some pressure from their side on this again. But still, we heard her saying that she wanted to take down Trucy. So this is something she's getting satisfaction of as well, with Trucy going to prison and stuff like this too. Right? So it's not like it's like we can just like be like, obviously, like, if it is a thing that we find out some more details that we do have to like feel bad, that's a different thing. But we know for a fact that she does hate Trucy and she wanted this to happen. Right? We know that.
Objection.
Objection? I'm beginning to see, yeah? The karmic threads that make up the intricate tapestry that is this case. This music as well. Allow me to summarize your assertions, defense. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage. And second, that the witness and the accused are the only ones who could have done it. Okay, so he's gonna like summarize everything again? Exactly, what's more, Betty knew that the body would be found because we're using the fire bucket to talk about this way. We use the fire bucket. Again, I don't think it's a perfect piece of evidence, but it does showcase that they were not preparing for everything else that was going on. 100%. And that magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim on her stage. But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some other reason? What do you mean? Like what? See, I know whatever evidence he's going to have is probably going to be, like, good. It's been good so far in terms of, again, not that it's been true, but, like, in the grand scheme of a courtroom, it's been, like, very effective, is what we'd say. In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. Yeah? That in conjunction with the body of the tumbling from the coffin in such a dramatic fashion. Yeah? All seem too perfect for mere happenstance. I do agree that the dragon falling was planned. 100%. I agree with that 100%. It was though the entire chain of events has been planned out in advance. I agree. I agree. I'll hit herself in the head again. Planned out. After deciding to take this case, I scrupulously studied everything I could about the mass media in this country. I read the newspaper, old news reports. I even browsed tabloid magazines. How very industrious of you. I'm impressed. During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored by the TV world. Wait, is he talking about like Crash TV? Because that's what Retton's had. Retton's like he did a lot of Crash TV, like pranks and like TV that is like about catching people off guard. Like that's what he used to do with Apollo. He used to film him. Is he gonna argue that Retton's planned this as a way to like trick everyone? A practice called the hidden. Yes, because that's Retton's whole deal. That's his whole deal. Ah. Betty and Bonnie, you knew about this, did you not? Wait, so that's again. This is like. I'm not saying this is true because I do think Betty and Bonnie are involved in this, right? 100%. But if we're talking once again about somebody coming back with good evidence, it's not perfect, and we're gonna poke holes in it 100%. But right now, it's effective because the evidence we have would be. We know personally that this is what Retton is like. He tried to do this to Apollo. He tried to make a Crash TV thing with Apollo and with Athena. He's really involved in the tabloid newspapers. We know this as well. He's his finger in the pies of so many different tabloid newspapers, 100%. But also, like, I think that you could say that as a counterpoint, as a counterpoint to what we're saying here, and using this type of crash course, this Crash TV thing, the argument he's going to make is that, well, if they planned this whole thing, then it wasn't the dragon falling isn't part of the actual killing itself. It was meant to be a prank that went off at that exact moment to shock everybody. Now, the other issue with that as well is that this also then would like lessen the idea that this was like a negligence on the part of Trucy in terms of her trick, because that would mean that you would have to argue that like Retton's caused the accident to happen with the dragon falling, so it lessens the idea that this is a involuntary manslaughter. And I think brings it on the path to the idea that this was murder more than anything, if I think so, just because then like you take away all the accidental stuff. Not all of it, but like some of it. Sorry for going on a tangent. I'm trying to always like make sense of it myself as well, but I think that's what he's going to go for. Because we know he is a Crash TV type of guy. About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, and the show being suspended. But is he saying the dead body was part of the Crash TV stuff as well? Because that's insane. Yes, you could argue that you could sell you could sell this to like a highest bidder, like the idea of like the footage for what happened. And it did go out on the air, right? It did. So it's not like this didn't give ratings to some companies as well that were under Retton's control. You two were informed of this plan by Take-Two TV in advance, correct? Is that true? Betty, please, let's tell them now. I can't hold it anymore. Wait, so I'm trying to think of the actual wording that Betty had. No, I'm trying to think. Did Betty talk about the actual murder itself when she was talking to Rettons, or did she talk about just ruining Trucy's career with what happened? Maybe she was talking about the actual prank thing then? But still, then she would be pretty insensitive to talk about it in a way that, like, she won because Reese died. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting to see where they bring this. Dang it, fine, you got us. Everything the prosecutor said is true. The TV station paid us to cooperate with them on this plan, but someone died. So they can't be saying that the mysterious is part of the actual thing, because then they would admit that they killed him for the prank, or unless they would say Trucy took it too far or something. I don't know what they're gonna be like. It was all a prank. Oh my god, it's a prank, bro. A big setup planned out in advance. Yeah, this is gonna be. I'm so curious to see where they're gonna take this. It's stopping me in my tracks a little bit.
Mysterious showing up dead in the coffin. That was part of the plan? But how does that... Are they going to say Trucy was involved too? The set piece falling down. It was all completely scripted. Wait, so they're going to say Mysterious... But someone's dead. Mysterious is dead. Betty, Mysterious is dead. What is happening? Exactly, me too. Me too. Me too, Apollo. A prank? Bonnie, is this really true? This is like such a crazy like turn of events. Yes, Mysterious was supposed to pretend to be dead. Oh, okay, so he's supposed to... Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Because I was like, someone died. So they're going to argue probably that he was supposed to pretend to be dead, but Trucy actually legitimately killed him. So they're going to make it out that this was just a harmless prank show, which it wasn't harmless, by the way. I want to make that freaking clear. Because already I think this would show breach of contract for Trucy. Because... Wait, would that mean... Wait, hold on a second here. Sorry, guys, I'm going off on a tangent again. Wouldn't that mean this contract is done, then? If, through the fault of the second party, the show must be cancelled in part or in full, the second... Oh, wait. No, because they say it's a magic show. Wait, what I'm saying here is this. Would this not make it null and void because... If it's in fault of the second party, but... No, because no, I get it. That's my bad. Okay. Now, I think the reason why this contract would be a little bit shaky because they said it was a magic show and not a prank show. Trucy it does not say prank show here. I feel like they should say prank show in the contract if they want Trucy to be a part of a prank show, right? She did not sign a waiver to be part of a prank show. She signed to be part of a magic show, right? The second thing is, and I'm not a lawyer, by the way, so to take this with a grain of salt. The second thing is with this is that technically they could, if they're able to get past the first point of this being a magic show and saying that it's all part of the magic show, then then they win with that. But then they could also just say then afterwards that, well, Trucy killing the guy, even though she didn't, really canceled the show. We could have kept the show going after that because we could have done pranks on other magicians and stuff like this too. So yeah, I get it could still make sense. Yeah, 100%. I hope you don't mind me guys like sometimes going back and like questioning myself and questioning this and then finally getting around to conclusion because that's the way I like to do it. I like to like sometimes like make a speculation. Sometimes I'll prove myself wrong in the same moment. Sometimes I'll, question my own speculation. I think it's fun. I love doing that. It's such a fun thing for me. Like to me, like Ace Attorney is about like a bunch of different things, but I love also the idea of just like, and this is not just Ace Attorney, but I love being wrong. I love being confused. I love like not feeling smart sometimes. I love feeling sometimes and then on the opposite side of why Ace Attorney is amazing, I love like when you get to be right sometimes and you get to feel like you did something amazing. You know what I mean? Like it's a really fantastic game that has so many ebbs and flows. You have to just let it take you, right? You have to let it bring you on the ride. You have to let yourself like get confused. You have to let yourself be lost in the game sometimes. You have to let yourself kind of be like, huh? Sometimes it's more fun that way. I think like the wrong way to play this game would probably be, not that there's a wrong way to play the game. I'm saying like I think I would have less fun with Ace Attorney if I played the game like, man, this is dumb. Like, how am I supposed to figure this out? What the hell? You know what? This is so stupid. Instead, like whenever I'm confused, it's like fun. It's like, oh my God, like how is this going to turn out? How is this going to change? It's kind of fun that way. Yeah. So he's in on it too. That's right. He was supposed to show up dead in the coffee, and then set piece would fall down, and Trucy would be shocked and start to panic. That's still very cruel. That's incredibly cruel. Even if I believe that this is the whole idea here, that is incredibly cruel. That's how the prank script went. Yeah, cruel. Absolute cruelty. Like pranks like that are absolute cruelty. There are pranks you can do with like your friends that are like harmless pranks, right? That don't. But I'm even a big believer. Like when people do the whole thing where like when someone makes their food and then they pay for their food and then you like unscrew the salt shaker or something like that. Even those ones, I look at them like, what the hell, guys? Come on, like they paid for that. Are you gonna pay for their food now? Like that's the type of stuff even I get upset about. I'm like, why would you do that? But I suppose then you have to set boundaries with your friends because if they're doing that and you don't like it, then that they're not really good friends, I guess. You know your limits to your friends. Yeah, it's not thank you, Apollo. It's cruel. It's a cruel prank. It's not fun. It's making Trucy panic thinking someone died. Like that, making this 17-year-old gal
panic. Like, how is that even an achievement? Man, you're sitting there like, dude, we got her. That 17-year-old girl cried. She thought that the guy in the troop grammary was dead. Bro, no, that's not a freaking, that's cruelty. You should go to jail for that alone. Put them in the prison right now. Put them in prank prison. Like, that's so cruel. That is psychological torture. But we never thought, what did you not think, Betty? What did you not think? Let's see what you didn't think. He'd actually wind up dead. Oh no, yeah, of course, like 100%, you know? We're okay, like, we draw the line at murder. You know? Psychological torture of a 17-year-old girl for TV laughs that will scar her for the rest of her life. Totally good, right? But he actually died. And I know what you're saying. I know it's like, yes, murder does like take it a step to the point where it's like an actually official horrific, you know, it's a murder. It goes from like a sentence of like a year to like forever. You know what I mean? I know that. But still, it's like these are your, like, where are your morals? Where are your morals? That was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Where is this script? Show me the script. Show me the script right now. I'm so completely lost right now. Apollo, I am fuming that they thought this was an acceptable defense as well. It technically is because it's effective, but it's one of those things where it's like, imagine you're like, my defense of, Your Honor, I am not a murderer, but I did intend to psychologically torture and scar for life that girl. It's like, okay, bro, you suck. You're still terrible. That's going to be a different trial down the line as well. Horrible. Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly does sound like you have some explaining to do.
All right. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Just this once. We'll share how I was done with you. So listen carefully. You'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else again.
I love the presentation. I just think this whole prank thing on the baseline of a prank is horrible. Oh, the bat is so cool. That bat is really cool.
After our teleportation trick, I went down onto stage. When Mysterious' body appeared from the coffin on stage, it was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage. That's right. I used the remote control. Oh, sorry, was that Bonnie speaking? Sorry, my bad. That's right. I used the remote control for the winch connected to the dragon set piece. I made it fall down. And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt.
Oh, you're so good, guys. You're so good. By the way, we said someone called her. We saw on her face someone called her, so it was Bonnie who called her.
After that, the plan was for Mr. Sirius to come back to life in front of a panicked Trucy.
You are evil! That is so evil! What is wrong with you? He was supposed to laugh and fly up and fly away. That's how it was scripted anyway. That is so horrible! But for some reason, he really did turn up dead. So he kind of just stayed on the ground. That is horrific. My heart is pounding with anger. Hey, Apollo, yes. What type of joke is that? That's not a joke. That's not a joke. Oh my god. Like, what is wrong with people, man? And I'm not surprised because the world is like this sometimes. We've seen YouTube pranks like this. You thought your friend was dead. It's like, yeah. Haha. Funny. Really funny. It sounds... Judge, it does. It sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. It's horrific.
You thought your friend had died.
Okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with these people? The poor defendant was trying to do her magic show. Yes.
I guess so. I'm sorry, Trucy.
Oh, you're sorry now. What is... like, I cannot believe it. And I know it's like doubly upsetting because it's Trucy. That someone would ever think to do this to Trucy. I know that. It's a personal thing as well. But man, my blood is boiling.
Whatever, it was all Ratings Raja's idea anyway.
Yeah, if the Ratings Raja hit himself in the head with a hammer, would you do it? Yeah, it sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with. 100%. 110%. It was. It 100% was.
This is the prank plan script we got from the Ratings Raja.
The corpse appearing and the set piece falling were staged by Roger Wright. So this actually was a legitimate prank. So someone killed Mysterious in the process of this prank. Dang, you made us break our contract. Now we won't get paid. So it was a contract that they had to follow through with this prank. Now, I know it's like giving the people the benefit of the doubt again. Do you think they were forced into this? Do you think that maybe there was a thing that they were like, if they didn't do this, this would happen? But now she's just talking about getting paid, you know, as well. So like, I wonder if it was a similar contract that they signed where it was like, if you didn't do this prank, you will have to pay $3 million. But she seemed like she was more control of the situation than Rayton's, honestly. But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim and when? Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mysterious was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when was he on the stage? Oh, there still would have been life within him, yes. And if that is the case, then Betty, who was also on the stage, may be excluded from a list of suspects. So it has to be someone on stage? So Bonnie or Trucy, but... Witness, was the victim alive until they entered the coffin? Oh, well, now that we've spilled the beans, we might as well show you this... There's a video? There's a video? Greetings, viewer. I am the great... Okay, it's interesting. It's the first time we've heard him kind of speak. The Great Mysterious. We are currently in the middle of Trucy's escape trick. Having stuck through the understage passage undetected, I'm now hiding backstage, preparing to play a little prank on... Oh my god, you're horrible too. You're a horrible person also. I'm about to hide in the coffin, which Trucy will stab with a rubber sword. And when the coffin opens, oh, I'll be in it acting though as I met my maker. Oh my god. Can you imagine the look on Trucy's face then? I can hardly wait. $300 years old. 17. $310. 17. Grown adult man with rent and electricity bill doing this. My mind is boggled to death. He's about to hide in the coffin? Boggled. Messed up. It would seem the threads of karmic destiny. Can I say as well, I love that Apollo and the judge both pointed out that this is cruel. I love that they did, because it is cruel. I think it would have been like way worse if the judge was like, oh, so it was just a harmless prank. No, he said that's horrible. He was honest as well. He's like, that's horrible. Have led us to the truth. The victim passed through the understage where Betty the Fame was and came up into the backstage area. We know this because Mysterious appeared to be backstage when he shot the video we saw. It appears that way, yes. We're sweating now. On defense, you proposed the following, did you not? This is big Ace Attorney energy as well, where we take 10 steps forward and someone knocks us 5 steps back, you know? It happens. It does happen. What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mysterious entered the coffin. This also answers the question I had before of if he was alive in the coffin. I was like, why wouldn't he just say something? Because he was playing a freaking prank. He was doing prank games. Oh, so does that mean... Yes. It is horrible but true. The tragedy indeed did play out right there on the stage. When into the coffin where Miss Cerise was hiding, Trucy Wright thrust her blade. This is great presentation of this, by the way. So it has to be, it's down to the blade. It's down to the blade itself. Are we going to bring up the fact that there was blood on the blade in the video, in the downstage, but there's not blood on the blade in the video, though? Are we going to bring that up? Is that something we're going to bring up? Oh, Paula, we got to do it. Paula, my heart's pounding as well. My heart's pounding as well. It honestly is. We're taking 5 steps back once again. See, I told you so. So are you saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank? It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. Oh, don't... You trying to say Trucy had knowledge of it? So let's ask the accused herself. Miss Wright, did you have a prior knowledge of the prank? No, she didn't. Did she? What, did you? Tell him, Trucy, you didn't know anything about it, right? Maybe she did know about it. Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it. Okay.
Objection.
Wait, what's happening here? Buddy, calm. Still think you can play innocent, do you? Calm yourself. In that case, you leave me little choice but to present this piece of evidence. Bonnie, get the video camera after Mysterious's, Wait, but, like, we've already seen that she signed... We know there was forgery signed before, right? It looks like some sort of note. That's... I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time I didn't understand what it meant, but all is clear to me now. So is he going to say that Trucy did know about it? Let's see. It says, get the video camera after Mr. Reese comes tumbling out. It's a note signed by the accused. Instructing Bonnie to collect Mr. Reese's video camera. What? Is it another forgery? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I found it in the dressing room before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Trucy knew about the prank. It does bear her signature. I'll give you that. But that's... We saw, like, he made that... He made the other signature appear on the other contract before as well, though, right? What's happening here? Trucy note added to the court record. Did you know about this, Trucy? So the defendant had prior knowledge of the prank? Can we ask her to talk? She's right here in front of us. It appears so, yes. When she learned about the plan to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. No. We're not going with it. No, she didn't try. She didn't go, someone's gonna prank me. I'm gonna kill someone. So she thrust a steel sword into the coffin where the victim stood, chuckling to himself. Oh my god. Is that not what happened, Miss Wright? Trucy? Of course not. I didn't write or sign that note. I'm gonna believe Trucy up until the point that she tells me otherwise. That's my job. That's my job as Apollo right now. But the handwriting matches yours. The same on the other frickin' bogus contract. All the evidence and testimony points to you being the culprit. But I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Calm that in front of Trucy. Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that, can you not? I can't explain it. I didn't write it. So I don't understand. Man, that's so horrible what they're putting this gal through. It is so horrific what they put her through. I didn't kill Mysterious. You have to believe me. I do. I believe you. We believe you. Oh my god. This is going to affect her forever. This is going to be on her mind forever. Forever. A big silence in the crowd, by the way. The silence is deafening. Great way to describe it, yeah. Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even if you, as you are inescapably caught in the web of your fate you spun for yourself. Miss Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate. No, I didn't do it. Oh, this is so horrible. This is breaking my heart. I knew it. That sweet-looking girl, a murderer. She took all of us in with an activist. Shut up. Be quiet. I told you that she was from the homicide. No, you did not say that. But I didn't do it. I really didn't. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Oh my... No. I would jump into the sands. Apollo's better than me. This is bad. Your Honor, I suggest you put an end to this tragedy now. No, that's not. We don't have a no, Apollo. Give your official ruling and let us offer this victim's soul the last rites it deserves. Apollo, come on. Very well. I suppose I have no other choice. This court hereby finds the defendant, Trucy. Exactly. Exactly, Apollo. The defense has an objection. Tell him. Apollo, he's not gonna we wouldn't let Trucy down. We would not. You. Even now you would. I won't give up. And I refuse to let either of them down. Yes. Mr. Wright, who's counting me. Oh my god, Apollo, of course. And Trucy put all her faith in me, 100%. They put their faith in you because they believe in you. Mr. Justice, the fact that you have raised an objection means that you have evidence in which to refute the prosecution's claims, correct? Yes, of course, Your Honor. Or we could start with a bluff and end up somewhere good. Do we really have anything, Apollo? Actually, we do. There's one piece of evidence we can present here. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may proceed. What is the piece of evidence? As we saw in the show footage, there's no question that the defendant thrust the sword into the coffin. The defense doesn't dispute this point. But let us not forget that this was a magic show filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value. So you're saying some sleight of hand was somehow involved? Yes. The defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. Now, what was it that Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin? Very well. Let us see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this claim. 3? You will be severely penalized if you are bluffing. 3 is crazy. If you only have 3 left, you're donezo. You're donezo. That's fine, Your Honor. Let's go, Apollo. This shows that it's possible that the sword Miss Wright was using not the cause of death. So something to do with the swords? This here? The sword stand? Is the only thing is all we have in the swords, right?
Take that!
What's this, a sword from the show? That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was in the sword stand on the stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for a rubber sword. And she told us on record that she remembered it very clearly that she did. I see. So the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword. Was it? But then why was the seal sword found lying on stage? Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resulting chaos to swap the rubber sword for a steel one.
Objection.
Oh, my heart. This is stressful. This is so stressful. Do you not know when to give up, stink bug? That is not possible. Now we're being called stink bug again. Blood was found in the coffin hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left where the accused withdrew the sword. This is incontrovertible proof that the sword she used was a steel one.
Objection!
But the blood could be a result of someone tampering with the crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell and the audience was cleared out of the theater. There was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there.
Objection!
If the sword the accused was a rubber one, then when exactly do you propose the victim was killed? Oh, interesting. Given that Mr. Reese was alive when he entered the coffin. Finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial. Okay, so I guess we could the only way to do this is it's a reason to just keep going. We need to find out the truth of this. We have to. Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence. But as to the question of whether the sword the defendant will use was rubber or steel, I believe further discussion is warranted. Yes, Judge. I suggest we hear from the defender herself. Oh, so we're going to do like a cross-examination of Trucy. This is going to be interesting. Me the whole time. Very true. Everything she says is true. I just don't believe that she'd lie to us, you know? I just don't believe she would. Or at least she wouldn't unless there was like some real reason she had to like hide the truth, you know? Very well, Your Honor. Yes, I saved it. Somehow too close for comfort. But still, no, you did a great job. Apollo, you did a fantastic job. Crime photo updating the court record. Let's go. Let's adjourn for a brief 15-minute recess. Okay. I advise the prosecution and the defense to use this time to prepare. I think this is a perfect place to end this video and then come back in the next one after the recess as well. So, to talk about like the going ons of this case, I think this is one of the most stressful times I've had in Ace Attorney. I think it's just because, again, it is personal. I think when the cases are personal, whether it's with Apollo last time with in Dual Destinies, or if we're defending, you know, Phoenix, or we're defending someone we genuinely care about, like, you know, like it does become very personal. And Trucy, like, is, you know, is someone who is like we're very attached to in a lot of ways. What I found so great about this case was, first of all, the presentation of the reveal of the two twins, Betty and Bonnie. I think that what's so cool about that whole build up to that scene is that the game technically gives Bonnie an airtight alibi throughout the whole time, to the point that, like, I literally was saying to myself, I am an alibi for Bonnie. That is me. I am also an alibi. So when you start to question, you start to go, wait, what? And that's a perfect Ace Attorney thing. I love when Ace Attorney does it. The build up of like, wait, no, what? No. Oh, that type of whatever happens in Ace Attorney, like, it takes over my entire soul. It's so amazing. And then we had this, amazing presentation of Betty and Bonnie here. And Betty and Bonnie basically like have revealed that they both are involved in their magic tricks. That's the trick to their teleportation trick, is that they both can, like, you know, swap back and forth between each other. It also makes sense for a lot of things in this trial. For example, the one thing I would say that makes sense the most is the, obviously, like, Bonnie being on stage and us like her never leaving the stage in that moment. But also it makes sense for, like, say stuff like with the key. Like when Bonnie gave us the key and then Betty shows up underground, it wouldn't make sense why Bonnie would give us the key and then just show up underground like 2 seconds later. That doesn't make a lick of sense. It also makes sense why in one scene Bonnie would look so, like, legitimately vulnerable, and then the other scene Betty looks so, like, on her game, you know, when it comes to stuff too as well. But yeah, great presentation, great reveal with that as well. And I feel like it's one of the best things about Ace Attorney is to, like, reveal something that makes, like, a lot of stuff in the past that you thought was just, like, you know, something that was like that was just being brought up like as a red herring. Like, for example, the idea of, like, is, you know, why the alibi for Bonnie was actually, like, something that was really, really important. And I thought there was gonna be, like, a third person, like someone else to do with the, like, the Grand Marie Troop, or hated the Grand Marie Troop, but it was actually just, like, her sister. Yeah, great reveal. Honestly, one of the best reveals in terms of Ace Attorney stuff. It's how you do it in an Ace Attorney game. The build up, the big shock moment, the moment where you're like, oh, that all makes sense. All this stuff is what's so great about Ace Attorney. But then we went on to, like, find out that, like, this whole situation that they had caused was actually them trying to do a prank on Trucy. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I knew she said she didn't sign it, so I'm going with she didn't sign it, right? I'll always believe Trucy up until the very end. Let's say she did sign it and she knew about the prank, right? I don't think in any way, shape, or form that this excuses the people for wanting to do this prank on Trucy. Now, if it is a thing where the Rettons also, like, forced other people to do some stuff as well, that's a different story, right? We might find out in the future. But it's still one of those situations where we know for a fact that Betty wanted Trucy's downfall. Regardless of if, like, she killed Mysterious or whatever, she's openly said that she wanted Trucy to have a downfall. She did not like Trucy. She hated Trucy 110%. But when I talk about that prank there, and I'm glad the judge called it out. I'm glad Apollo called it out. That's not a prank. That's just cruelty. And yeah, it is technically a prank, but it's more just like, it's one of those pranks that you're like, what? How is that even a prank? You know, like, it's like when someone walks up to someone it's like walking up to somebody and slapping in the face and going, it's just a prank. It's like you slap someone, you know? And like this 30-year-old dude with the camera being like, this 17-year-old girl's not going to know what hit her, you know? And this girl's going to be traumatized. Like, it's like, dude, like, get a life. Get a life, you know? Legitimately. And again, I don't know the full story of all this, but regardless, like, it is a horrible idea for that prank. Like, I'm sorry, the person you thought was joining back up. And again, she's probably so excited for Mysterious to be back in the Troop Gramarye. Oh, he's dead, by the way. And also the stage fell apart, you know? Horrible prank. Like, I'd put them away for that. I'd be like, get out of here now. Like, I'm already like, you know. And that's, by the way, that showcases how strong the media is in this game and in life in general, because Raidens has a control over the media to the point that the gallery still just believes that Trucy is an awful person. Whereas if you really think about it, if no one's controlling those aspects of the media, if this was like a thing where like we went on like online right now, you would see like, you know, people reacting to this on YouTube, or people like, you know, talking about this on Twitter or something, and they would be like, those people are freaking horrible, right? Now, nowadays you might have people being like, no, she deserved it, blah. But like, you know, there is a situation where like, I think it's one of those, like, it showcases how powerful his control is over the media, and how powerful media perception is over people as well, and how perception is everything. The fact that Trucy is a murderer and she deserves to be called a murderer. She's a killer. They called her a witch, all this horrible stuff. We're going to see them afterwards. It is a testament to how powerful his influence is, because even after hearing this horrible prank about what they were going to do to Trucy, the people in the audience were still like, yeah, cool. But then what happened is that the forged signature changed everything. So it's like almost like, it's the power of the media. It's like one little thing changes all the sympathy they have for her. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, we no longer, I knew she did something. I knew she killed, you know? It's very much like that. And it's very like realistic in a way, I feel like, too. Trucy as a character, like, is a character we adore, and she is going through so much right now. I feel so bad for her. What they're trying to say now is that she knew about the prank, and they're also trying to say that she's the one who murdered Mr. Mysterious. We have to prove somehow that sword was not what she thought it was, and that she had no intention of killing Mysterious, because it doesn't make sense. We know like Trucy would not just try to kill somebody like that. But yeah, so we know that they had a prank planned where they were going to prank Trucy and traumatize her for life, and that was going to be the entertainment. They also have now two twins running around, Bonnie and Betty, and now they're trying to say that Trucy knew about the plan, and also that she aimed to kill Mysterious with that opportunity of what was happening with the prank. When I think about everything going forward, like, it's terrifying because you don't know what they're going to pull out of the hat now, you know, pardon the pun, with all this stuff as well. But also, all that we've seen so far already, like, my heart was pounding at times. I was frustrated at times. I was, like, scared at times. I was, like, angry at times. And that's what Ace Attorney does. It's really incredible at making you feel those emotions. So I was genuinely, like, just, like, you know, seeing red at times as well. I was so frustrated with what was happening. And I think that's, like, you know, a testament to this game all the time. The fact that this trial has become so personal, the fact that I'm so frustrated with what's happening in this trial, it is just a testament to how good this game is. Like, let's just be honest, that's what it is. And how good they are with this emotional stuff here as well. But if you talk about it from a video game perspective, it's also just like, the reason I'm frustrated is because they are laying this on thick to this gal who did nothing wrong, and we're gonna prove that she did nothing wrong. And it's gonna feel so good to make sure that Trucy gets off scot-free, that Mr. Wright knows that his daughter got off scot-free, basically our sister got off scot-free, and all these people in this trial, even the people in the gallery, are going to have to look really freaking dumb. It's going to feel very good. And that's another satisfying part about Ace Attorney. It's going to feel freaking good. It will feel so good, guys, and you know it will. I love this so far. It's really, really well done. It's really well written. The reveals are good. The back and forth between Samadi and Apollo is really great. I actually think that he's actually like a really good counter to Apollo, even this early on, which scares me what's going to happen in the future if you have another trial against him. Because he's actually, like, again, even if it's not, the evidence isn't true, you know what I'm saying? He's effective. He's very effective in what he does. And he's also very, like, reasonable at times too, but of course, again, he's also like very mean at times too as well. But yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I thought this so far has just been so great. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you guys for supporting me as always. And I will say thank you so much to my patrons at the highest tier of YouTube and my YouTube members at the highest, patrons at the highest tier of Patreon and the YouTube members at the highest tier. Thank you to Tyfire2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Anusta, Lynx Markey, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, Hykasperian, Jeremiah, and at the highest tier of my YouTube, Royal Grimma 7, Blasco, Lusanagi. See you soon, guys.